What's going on YouTube? So today we have another video on the F-100. On today's agenda we have valve cover gaskets, cleaning up the engine bay, and applying some wire protective wrap on some of these wires we got right here. I did put on some electrical tape, but we went to the store, picked up some wire wrap, and we're gonna protect that as well as some of this stuff right here. And one thing I bought today was some electric contact cleaner, and what I noticed, I didn't like the way these connections look on the starter solenoid, so we're gonna go ahead and clean all that up, see if we can't make that look a little bit better and also just have better connections so we don't want any issues down the line, as well as the ignition system. That is something that's going to be addressed probably in the next video or two, but that's going to be a little bit later. But as for now, let's go ahead and spray this entire engine bay down, get it looking clean so we have a good surface to work with, and we'll go ahead and start removing the valve covers. So first things first, we're going to use some super clean and get to spraying down and letting this soak for probably about 5 minutes or so. And once that's done soaking, we'll go ahead and pressure wash the entire engine bay. Want to use a whole bunch of this stuff. Go ahead and get you. So now that we got this all applied, we're going to go ahead and let this soak for probably about 5 minutes or so. And then we're going to go ahead and give this thing a good pressure wash and then reapply where needed, and should be good to go on this. Real quick. All right, so the engine bay is now completely clean. Not 100%, but it's gonna be a heck of a lot better to work on rather than that oily mess that it had before. But now we're gonna go ahead and probably clean up these wires a little bit with the contact cleaner and clean that up a little bit. But then we're gonna go ahead and tackle the valve covers. So I'll catch you guys here in a minute. So for the valve covers, they're all gonna be a 1/2" bolt. All right, let's see what we're looking like. So I can get you guys a closer look. So everything is not that bad in here. I was expecting it to be super sludgy, but luckily we're looking pretty good. Glad I'm replacing these rubber valve cover gaskets with some cork ones. I've not had good luck with these rubber ones before, so they seem to be pretty wore out anyway. But at least they're all coming off easy. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up a little bit and slap this one on. Got the valve train pretty clean, just a quick brake clean and wipe down. and looking good. We got the old gaskets right here. They pretty much disintegrated, and they are cork. I mentioned they were rubber, but they're not. They're just obviously covered in oil. But the valve covers are pretty clean. Didn't get them 100%, but gave them a good wipe down. Got all the sludge that was built up off of them. So now we're gonna go ahead and slap one on and catch up with you guys when we're done with this. So everything is fully put back together. The only thing we had an issue with was the PCV valve hose pretty much disintegrated in half whenever I moved it over when I was putting the valve cover back on. So we're gonna go hit the parts store, grab a new hose, and throw that back on there. Okay, so we got the new hose in with the PCV valve already on. So let's go ahead and get this part that snapped off of the back of the carburetor, pull that clamp off, and then go ahead and slide this new one on. So after about 15 minutes of fighting with that clamp and really picking off all of this old rubber hose, we got that thing finally off. We're gonna clean all that up here in a second, but let's go ahead and slip on this new hose right here and get everything buttoned up and good to go. So we got everything measured out and how much we're gonna need. We're gonna remove the zip tie the previous owner installed onto the washer line. And then we're gonna just wire these ignition wires separately. This might be a little unnecessary because I'm gonna be dealing with this bad ignition setup a little bit later. But for now, I just want it cleaned up. Is wire wrapped right now. We're gonna go ahead and get some electrical tape and tape this off and secure everything, and then maybe zip tie it down to something on this wheel well liner. But we are good to go, guys. So on this side we have everything wire wrapped and taped, so that's looking 10 times cleaner. Like I said, we still have a bunch more wiring issues, not really issues, but a lot of cleanup to do on this truck. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't mess with any of this. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. I'm not exactly sure why these are exposed wires, but I'm gonna mess with this, see if I can't clean any of it up just for the time being. And I'll probably leave this exposed just because I'm not gonna permanently wrap all this stuff up. But whatever needs to stay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up and clean. All right, guys, so today is now complete. We got the valve covers done. We have the engine bay pretty clean. We got some of the wiring cleaned up. We just need to do a little bit more cleaning up with this wiring situation, but eventually we'll get it all 100%. But for now, that's gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.